By the timing of this video being uploaded, I'm already back home from Anime Expo. Hey guys, what is up? I'm back once again. I did say I was going to try to do some videos and everything while I'm here at Anime Expo and everything. And I am here to tell you today's the day. Sundays. I'm talking about trash days, bro. The day you go take out trash. No, seriously, this series is trash, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I think the only other series I can say that about is Gintama, and not get flame about it, right? Because it's understandable. And the thing is also because the series is literally translated to trash, and I'm talking about Gachiakuta. Now, for any of you who knows this series, of course, there are massive manga fans. The promotion for this series has been insane for the anime, and it finally dropped. I was fortunate enough to see both Kei Urana and Hideyoshi on day 2, the day before they showed the premiere of episode 1 and 2. I did not want to spoil myself, but in terms of the how it looks animated wise, because I read the manga, I'm caught up with all the chapters. Okay, I've been reading for several months at this point, and right now I would have to say personally to me, it is one of my favorite new gen series, okay? And just so you guys know, if you saw me at the panel when they were doing the Q&A and they doing the live drawings on the Shishinkan cards, I was that person that asked the question of what inspired Urana Sensei to create characters like Seimu and Jabber, okay? I had my reasons very much, and I was pleased with their answer, okay? But and also, by the way, Seimu and Engine, they were the reason I got into the series, particularly Seimu, so you know. But nonetheless, I am here. I'm going to probably, with this series, the most thing I'm going to do is probably make comparisons and contrast between the episodes and the chapters it's adapted from. It is going to be 2 cours, meaning aka 24 episodes straight through. So that means we may wrap up probably within the 50s or 60s, presumably, of depending on how they adapt the manga to the anime. Okay, so without further ado and for further talking, let's get into the very first episode of Gachiakuta. It is said that when an object is treated with care, a soul will come to inhabit it. So when trash is thrown out, what comes to inhibit it? And so y'all just throw it out? Come on. I remember having a bunny when I was a kid, and it was destroyed, and how much times it was mended until it was ultimately destroyed, and I wanted to. Such a waste. And I'm not saying this just for the series. Okay. Humans think nothing of turning an object into trash. To dismiss it as filth. Never to hold any value again. They did this to other humans. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Then it was never that serious, my guy. Okay, you see, if you feeling trash at me, bro, I would have been very upset. Like, low key. He wasn't doing all of that in the manga. You know? Yeah, say talking trash, bro. Bro, he was taking to his side until y'all would say talking about him and his people. Damn. And that's kind of like how society actually is too, unfortunately. I'll just say, like, this character, I know some people have some feelings about her. I already know. Boy, you talking, you look like trash too. Yo, shut up. Just so you know, anime onlys, those gloves, they're important. Keep an eye on them. Mm. Wait, the person that was saying, oh, they're dropping the hints early on. Oh, Lord. No, it was Eblu. Mm-hmm. Mm. Shot it. Yeah, I want to see because it looks like kind of cluttered in the manga. I do want to see how his hands look like. Ooh. Mm. And he said he received that from his actual biological father. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ooh, this son of a man. Yeah. I can't spoil. I'm not gonna spoil nothing for you. Jesus, stop spoiling my son. I can't spoil nothing for y'all, but when you see it, oh my god. Look, Jesus. Oh, it looks worse in animation. Lord, it's like a black sea of nothingness. God Almighty. His face. He's such an awkward being. Like, oh my gosh. Like, my son is so awkward, bro. Yeah. You gotta start it in there, boy. You could have just took it. The man already dead. Yep. This is not easy to watch, bro. And you know what's gonna happen. He's gonna be falsely accused anyway. That's what's gonna happen. Like, why you gotta take out Pop's first episode, bro? Like, the first chapter, you gotta take out the parents. I hate when they do that. Why you gotta traumatize the kid already more than they. Nah, he gone. He. Yeah, because he was laying on top of him. But Smirch, look how you got people living, bro. Look how y'all treat tribes folk. Like, you talking about besmirching my, like, yo, they are hypocrites, bro. It's like so messed up because it's like he's trying his best to like survive with his stepdad, and he got caught up into something that he should not have been caught up in the first place. This is also a revenge story, just so y'all know. I know it's gonna come. I know the comments are gonna come from anime only. I know it. I know it after this episode. I know. I know. Hmm. Yeah, he's in the crowd. Yeah, yeah, especially you. Yeah. Damn, look how much trash. Oh, it's a thing. Dang it. I wanted to see how it looked like. The thing he saw in the sky. Yeah, that's trash. Piles of trash. Yeah. And now he's got to deal with a trash beast. Yep. Oh, that looks sick. Okay, so I went and reread the first chapter. They did change up some stuff while also adding in scenes. So particularly in the beginning of the episode we had when Rudo was going through the trash, basically the facility where they keep the trash to dispose of it eventually. All that action sequence, they added in particular scenes. But what I found to be the most interesting about this is the part where Rudo met that mysterious hooded figure, mask figured individual who was creepy looking. All I'm saying is, to anime onlys, pay attention to that individual, because a lot of things are going to happen. Okay, there's a reason why that individual is there, and caused the reason for Rudo to be framed for a murder that he did not commit. Now, in the first chapter, technically, Rudo bumped into that individual. He did not meet him in the house and then saw him purposely push the sword into Regato's chest even more. That did not happen in the first chapter. I think they changed it up to give more emphasis for Rudo's revenge arc, so he has more of a reason to go against the people of the sphere, and especially that hooded mask figure individual, right? Because that was not in the first chapter. Because I was like, hold on, I don't remember. I do remember them, and Rudo was falsely accused of a murder because of that individual, but I did not remember them being at the crime of the scene when that happened. So I had to go double check back on the first chapter. By the time Rudo got to the house, Regito was already, he already lost his life. And that's when the police force came in and saw that Rudo was there. Rudo never even got knocked out and then woke up and trying to wake up Regito. Instantly, by the time he tried to go wake him up in the first chapter of the manga, that's when the police force came in and zapped him, and then they took him away to take him to the pit and then cast him down and everything, right? And then on top of that, what you see, like, yeah, with Chiwa, she's like, she can't believe it. The way you can interpret that scene where she said, I trust you, but then you really are a murderer's son, it could probably be due to what Rudo was feeling, but at the same time, I guess it was also Chiwa's feelings. Like, think about it, she was the only one. And not only that, the scene of like when Rudo was fixing up the stuff ready to go sell it on the streets, and her mom came to pick her up, and then her mom in the episode mumbled like, you shouldn't be seen hanging out with that kid. In the manga, that never happened. So again, they're adding and taking away from certain things. They're extending certain scenes, because the first chapter alone is probably pretty already lengthy, like anywhere between 40 to 70 pages. It's already lengthy as is. So certain scenes were elaborated a little bit more, but like, again, what was the most shocking was seeing that hooded mask individual pushing that huge sword in Regito's chest even more. Like, he then was looking at Rudo's eyes and said, instead of like usually the culprit would just take it out and then knock you out or something and then dip, or probably crash into a wall or somewhere and then dip to run away from the scene. No. He really looked Rudo in the eyes, took his knowledge books, took the sword and just kept embedding it into Regito's chest. And then Regito in the manga never got to tell Rudo to run. So in the anime, it gave more of a helpless situation where like Rudo is losing his adoptive father, and his adoptive father in his last act of kindness is trying to tell his son, hey, get away, run away. Another thing I want anime only that I did mention in the reaction part of the video is to pay attention to the gloves. There is a lot of meaning to them. So do pay attention to that, okay? Because those gloves are a reason for a lot of stuff that's going to be happening in this series as well. It's part of the bigger plot of the entire series, on top of the revenge story and who that mysterious individual is. And also makes you wonder, and to this day, even I have to ask. I'm still asking. I'm assuming also manga readers are still asking that question as well, especially since they got to see this first episode and it reignited some memories that they forgotten after passing the first chapter of the series. But where did Regito get those gloves to give to Ruto? Because those gloves, either it's a placebo effect or those gloves have the effect to like calm the massive ache and pain that Ruto has in his hands that he got from his birth parents and everything. So there is that. But unfortunately, you do end up feeling sorry for Ruto. I know some people already started to feel for him after this first episode. I did certainly feel for him in the beginning of the series, because it's just like, he's a kid in a messed up situation. He had parents that abandoned him. He was picked up by another adult, responsible adult, who did everything in his power to protect Ruto. And Ruto unfortunately had this label placed on him as soon as he came out the womb, because of the actions of his parents. And the other person he could have confided in turned her back on him at the last minute. And I know some people after this first episode is definitely not going to like Chiwa. Mind you, I'll let you know she is a first chapter character only, so you're not going to see her again. That's only if Urana Sensei decides to bring her back into the series. But so far, after 141 chapters, she has not appeared for 140 of them. If there's a total of 141, she has not appeared for 140. So Ruto was dropped into the pit and he survived the fall. Okay, so what does that mean? If you were able to see the trailers that they've been dropping, the trailers and the teasers over time, then you know he's going to end up meeting several characters. If you saw in the trailer itself, you saw that he met Engine. It's no point of spoiling, but in the teaser, Engine, Rio, Zanka, and then there's going to be other characters he's going to have conflicts with. Of course, they did show one of the antagonists of the series by the name of Jabber. Okay, so there's a lot of characters. There's a lot of characters that's going to be introduced into the series. Of course, we did see Seimu in the trailers as well, so you're going to end up eventually seeing her soon. But definitely this was a really good first episode. They elaborated and extended some more scenes, and definitely did take away from some certain stuff, but it was a very solid first episode. And it does give you hindsight to, like, they did purposely put things into place for you to understand a little bit more versus the manga version, so it's much more easier to follow versus the manga. So I'm assuming they're going to continue doing that as episodes go by. How much chapters are going to adapt per episode? I'm going to go on the limb about 2 to 3 chapters per episode, aside from episode 1, because episode 1 adapted about 70 pages. Chapter 1 was the longest chapter in the entire manga so far running, so like that was 70 pages. So first episode was the first chapter. Next episode is more likely 2 to 3 chapters adapted into episode 2. Of course, manga readers, as well as myself as a manga reader, I will refuse to spoil any of anime only. I know what's going to happen. But like I said it before in the beginning of the video, before the reaction, I'm going to make comparison and contractions between the anime and the manga, and I would love if manga readers also did that. As well as, since I'm holding myself accountable, you guys hold yourself accountable as well. So we're not going to spoil anime only. So we're only going to talk about the episode and the chapters that were adapted in that episode. Okay. Anime onlys, do tell me what shows are you watching for summer season of 2025, as well as how do you feel about the very first episode of Gachiakuta. And if you were able to go to Anime Expo this year, did you go on day 2 and day 3, which featured the Q&A with the creators of Gachiakuta, as well as saw the first 2 episodes? Do tell us. But obviously, if you did see the second episode, do not spoil. don't spoil it for those who weren't able to see it. Okay, the links are in the description box, so you guys go check it out. And I'm Kimmy-chan, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.